The sun rises over the Sulu Sea, painting the water gold and casting long shadows across the gentle waves. The day begins quietly, but beneath the surface, a world of movement is already stirring. Complicates boats, their hulls weathered by salt and time, glide across the horizon, their engines humming softly in the morning stillness. These boats, traders, fishermen, couriers, carry not just rice and noodles, but also the lifeblood of these islands, fuel. Every sack, every jerry can, is a thread in the web that ties these communities together. They connect islands between Sabah, Malaysia, and the southern Philippines, weaving through waters where borders exist only on paper, not in the minds of those who live here. Here, the sea is a highway, not a barrier, a living artery pulsing with commerce, kinship, and survival. Generations have traded and visited freely, guided by tides, necessity, and the unspoken rules of the sea. These traditions are passed down, shaping the rhythm of daily life. A boat from Sandakan might deliver goods to a remote Philippine village, bringing not just supplies, but news, stories, and a sense of connection that bridges the miles of open water. The real engine of this system is cheap, subsidized Malaysian gasoline, fuel that powers not just boats but livelihoods and hope. Transactions are informal, built on trust, reputation, and economic need. Deals are sealed with a handshake, not paperwork. A fisherman might swap his catch for Malaysian fuel, ensuring his family eats and his boat runs another day. A trader might exchange rice for sugar, each trade a small act of survival and adaptation. The system thrives on the economic gap between the two sides, one with subsidies and relative abundance, the other with desperate need and resourcefulness. The air is thick with salt, diesel, and the sounds of coastal life. Engines sputtering, waves lapping, voices calling out across the docks. Children play on jetties, their laughter mixing with seabirds' cries. To outsiders it's tranquil, almost idyllic, a world apart from the cities. But beneath the surface, a complex, risky economy churns, shaped by necessity and the ever-present uncertainty of the sea. This is the Sulu Sea, a place where legality is fluid, and the flow of subsidized fuel shapes lives, destinies, and entire economies. Here, the border is just a suggestion, blurred by waves and wind, and survival is the only rule that truly matters. In Malaysia, government subsidies make fuel much cheaper than market price. The policy aims to help citizens, especially in rural Sabah, where cheap fuel is a lifeline. Lower fuel costs mean fishermen and farmers can work, feed families, and keep businesses afloat. But this well-meaning policy creates a stark price gap with the southern Philippines, where fuel costs double or triple. The difference is irresistible. Cheap Malaysian fuel is pulled across the sea, despite borders and risks. The subsidy meant for Malaysians becomes a valuable commodity for others. For Tawi-Tawi and Sulu residents, access to this fuel powers boats, homes, and inter-island trade. The Malaysian subsidy has become an unofficial pillar of the southern Philippine economy. It flows through unofficial channels, shaping daily life far beyond its intended reach. What began as domestic aid now fuels a cross-border gray market. The economic incentive is simply too strong to ignore. For generations, barter trade has served as a vital link connecting Sabah and the Sulu archipelago, goods exchanged for goods, with no cash ever changing hands. This age-old practice is more than just commerce. It's a living tradition that has shaped the lives of coastal communities on both sides of the sea. This tradition stretches back centuries, long before modern borders existed, weaving a rich tapestry of economic and cultural ties across the waters. Families, friendships, and livelihoods have all been built on these exchanges, creating a unique bond between nations. In recent years, the Trans-Border Trade Agreement has formalized some of this exchange, allowing registered traders to move certain goods tax-free. This agreement aims to preserve tradition while bringing order to the bustling maritime trade. Both governments recognize that this trade is not just economic, it's essential for the survival and well-being of coastal communities, supporting families and local economies. However, not everything is permitted. Fuel, for example, is strictly excluded. Malaysian law bans the export of subsidized items to prevent misuse and protect local resources. Yet, in practice, loopholes remain. Barter boats are allowed to buy fuel for their journey, which blurs the line between what is considered consumption and what becomes cargo. Traders often exploit this gray area, legally filling their tanks and extra containers, sometimes far beyond what is needed for a single trip. The temptation to sell surplus fuel in the Philippines is strong, as high profits can be made with little extra risk, turning a necessity into a lucrative opportunity. This legal channel, intended for trade, has become a conduit for subsidized fuel, transforming a centuries-old tradition into a modern loophole that is difficult to police. The result is a system where legal and illicit trade blend seamlessly, making it nearly impossible to distinguish one from the other in the busy waters. The sea's ancient barter routes now carry a new kind of cargo, a liquid gold that fuels both livelihoods and controversy. The border remains as porous as ever, and with every tide, opportunity and risk flow freely between these two worlds, keeping the spirit of barter alive in ever-changing forms. Beyond barter lies outright fuel smuggling, a dangerous, clandestine world where risk and reward are tightly intertwined. Here the stakes are higher, and the consequences can be severe, but the promise of quick profit keeps the trade alive. Smugglers use fast pump boats, loading fuel at night from secret spots or corrupt suppliers in Sabah. These operations are swift and silent, relying on darkness and secrecy to avoid detection. The return trip is a race against law enforcement, dodging patrols with local knowledge and speed. Every journey is a test of nerves, skill, and timing, as one mistake could mean arrest or disaster. Boats are packed with fuel drums, riding low and risking capsizing or engine failure. The overloaded vessels are vulnerable, and even a small wave can spell catastrophe for the crew. Smugglers are often local young men, drawn by profits that far exceed fishing. For many, the lure of fast money outweighs the dangers, especially when legitimate opportunities are scarce. For many, it's a calculated risk to support their families. The money earned can pay for food, schooling, and medical care, essentials that are otherwise hard to come by. The trade is organized. Financiers, lookouts, and distributors form a network spanning both sides of the border. Each person plays a crucial role, from planning routes to warning of patrols. Smuggling is not just a crime, it's a business, built on trust and secrecy. Deals are made in whispers, and loyalty is enforced by necessity and fear of betrayal. The lure is simple: one night's run can earn more than months of honest work. For some, it's the only way to escape poverty and provide a better future. The system is efficient, resilient, and deeply rooted in local economies. It adapts quickly to new threats, always finding ways to survive and thrive. Every successful run strengthens the shadow economy, weaving smuggling deeper into the fabric of daily life and commerce. The Sulu Sea's gray zone thrives on these high-stakes journeys, where danger and opportunity meet on the open water, shaping the destinies of those who dare to run the gauntlet. For Sabah's fishermen, the fuel subsidy is essential. It keeps boats running and families fed, but smuggling threatens this lifeline, causing shortages at local pumps. Fishermen wait in long lines, sometimes forced to buy black market fuel at higher prices. Smugglers, with cash and connections, often get first dibs, leaving locals frustrated. Some fishermen are tempted to sell their subsidized fuel for quick profit, blurring the line between victim and participant. The sea becomes riskier, with increased patrols and suspicion. Legitimate fishermen can be mistaken for smugglers, losing precious time and income. The subsidy, meant to help, now fuels a cycle of scarcity and moral compromise. The lines between legal and illegal blur, and ordinary people are caught in the middle. Survival often means navigating this uncertain, shifting gray zone. The very policy meant to help is now a source of daily struggle. For the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, policing the Sulu Sea is a daunting task. The border is a vast, tangled expanse, thousands of islands, inlets, and mangroves. Smugglers exploit this geography, hiding in coves and using shallow channels. Patrols deploy boats and aerial surveillance. But the area is simply too large. Smugglers adapt quickly, using lookouts and informal networks to evade capture. For every boat caught, many slip through. Encounters can be dangerous, some smugglers are armed, and the sea is a front line for broader crimes. The same routes move drugs, weapons, and people. Proving intent to smuggle is tricky. Traders claim fuel is for personal use, exploiting legal loopholes. Corruption is a constant threat, as profits tempt officials to look away. Enforcement is a relentless, frustrating battle against a tide of ingenuity and need. The border remains as elusive as ever. Fuel smuggling doesn't just enrich small-time operators, it attracts organized crime, profits from illicit fuel fund other illegal activities, from drug trafficking to piracy. The Sulu Sea's gray zone becomes a superhighway for transnational crime. Groups like Abu Sayyaf thrive here, using smuggled fuel to power raids and evade capture. The subsidy in Sabah, meant for good, indirectly supports violent actors. Smuggling routes are fiercely contested, leading to clashes and cycles of violence. Pirates target fuel-laden boats, turning commerce into a deadly game. The lines between economic need and criminal enterprise blur dangerously. Tackling fuel smuggling means confronting a web of piracy, terrorism, and organized crime. As long as the incentives and weak governance persist, new criminal networks will emerge. A simple subsidy policy now fuels a complex, destabilizing underworld. Solving fuel smuggling in the Sulu Sea demands a multi-pronged approach. Tighter controls in Sabah, like digital quotas and smart cards, could limit bulk fuel sales. Restricting sales in high-risk areas would help choke supply at the source. Cross-border cooperation is vital. Joint patrols, intelligence sharing, and targeting smuggling networks. Financial investigations must dismantle the organizations behind the trade, but enforcement alone isn't enough. The root cause is economic disparity. Investing in jobs and infrastructure in the southern Philippines would reduce reliance on smuggling. Malaysia may need to rethink its subsidy, perhaps shifting to targeted cash aid instead of blanket fuel discounts. This would close the price gap and remove the incentive to smuggle. Reform is tough, but necessary to end the gray zone's grip on the region. Only a blend of policy, enforcement, and development can calm these troubled waters. As the sun sets, complicates boats return, some with fish, others with secrets. The Sulu Sea's rhythm continues, shaped by tides and the pull of economics. The fuel subsidy, born in Kuala Lumpur, is now a force of nature here. It's survival for some, profit for others, and a headache for those enforcing the law. Fishermen, smugglers, and patrol officers are all bound by the flow of cheap fuel. Each navigates the same gray zone, where law is ambiguous and necessity rules. The challenge: help citizens without fueling instability, and preserve ancient ties without enabling crime. Solutions require understanding the region's history, culture, and economic realities. For now, the sea remains unsettled, the current of subsidized fuel flowing beneath daily life. As long as the price gap exists, the boats will keep crossing, and the Sulu Sea will remain a world unto itself.